What is up, YouTube and horse racing fans? It's been a while since we put out a video. Kicking off the Kentucky Derby prep season. Going to start with a Lecomte Stakes at Fairgrounds with a 14 race card for Saturday, January 22nd. Great, great betting race, great betting race card, more or less, with the 2022 debuts for Midnight Bourbon and Mandaloun in Louisiana, followed up by the Lecomte Stakes, where we see Epicenter and face off against Papa Cap. So I'm going to kind of go through the later card rather than the whole card itself, give you my top three picks, with a long shot pick in each race, kind of break it down on why I'm picking these horses, and then make sure to check out the links below for the blog that gives you the full race card, with some suggested wagering ideas, along with all the other races that are going on today on Saturday. I plan to do Gulfstream, probably Oaklawn and Santa Anita as well. Aqueduct will just depend on their weather situation, which they haven't raced for a few days due to the cold. So let's jump right in here and kick this off with race 8, going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. The Duncan F. Kenner Stakes, $100,000 stakes race for 4-year-olds and up. So I'm going against the heavy favorite in here, which will probably be Just Might, the 5 at 8 to 5 on the morning line. I'm going to go with Maniwa. Has been beaten by Just Might in the past 2 times. However, back in this same race in Fairgrounds last year, Maniwa was able to pull the upset over Just Might. So maybe Wayne Catalano, Corey Lanieri kind of figuring this horse out just a little bit, since Corey hasn't been on him since the last race and then hasn't been on him since 2021 before that. I just think the horse maybe favors this type of, I guess, turf at Fairgrounds, since it seems to run well, even though last time ran at Fairgrounds got beat by Just Might. But I just think for a money value, why not take a swing and try to open this up and beat what will probably be the heavy favorite. Looking at Just Might, definitely going to use him as my second choice, and definitely use him in some of the multi-race wagers just by looking at the stats. I mean, 11-7 lifetime, or in 2021, 32-10 lifetime. Post monster speed numbers on the turf, 103 last time out at Fairgrounds. So seems to enjoy the fairground turf for Michelle Level. So we'll just see if what Maniwa and Corey Lanieri, Wayne Catalano try to do to just maybe beat Just Might. As you can see, I'm going to stop here on number 3. Classy John's my long shot pick. Just seems to be a horse that runs well at Fairgrounds. Ran here 4 times and has finished in the top 3 of those times. So an interesting one here. Ran in a big Grade 3 stakes race last time out, the Troy at Saratoga. So interesting coming in from that. Ran back in January 9th at Fairgrounds, finished 3rd. So doesn't have much for class, but I mean, this type of race you never know with 2 heavy favorites. Long shot sneaks up underneath, and then there's a pretty good pay. And then I'm going to probably use Sir Alfred James, the one with Norman Cash and John McKee. Has raced so far in 2021 at Turfway in their holiday stakes for 100,000. Little bit different going from that synthetic to turf, but usually those horses that do that, make that transition, are fine. So I kind of like the price here at 5 to 1. Probably with the other 2 and Cohen number 2, the horse probably will float up closer to 10 to 1, and I think that's great value. Definitely one that I could throw in on my multi-race wagers, but definitely a 2-horse race with the 5 Just Might and 7 Manny Wah. Headed to race 9, going 6 furlongs on the dirt. This is just a maiden for 3-year-olds for $58,000. So a tough race to handicap for sure, because you have some coming in here that have lightly raced, some that have never raced. But I'm going right off the rail with my top pick in Mark Cassie and Orlando Mojica with strong quality out of Quality Road. You can see I've highlighted over here in the fall 2019 purchase for $500,000. So definitely something to look at. Posting some good works on the Fairgrounds Stirred at 48, and 4 went breezing at 4 furlongs. Kind of like Mark Cassie here on this hookup owned by Gary Barber. So definitely one that has all the right connections. So that one should be very interesting, and probably may get a little extra money on that one. Probably go up to about 8-1. So watch the prices coming in on these. That's usually a good indicator on what other people know. 9, Gano. Son out of Into Mischief for Brad Cox for Ron Giroux. You have to include this one. I mean, yearling sale for 2020 was $1 million purchase. Getting Lasix for the first time, so that could help this horse, as it's not finished anything better than second in its 3 starts. Has not been able to break its maiden. It should set up nicely here to possibly get it to be able to break the maiden coming in. Going just to the inside as my 3rd pick, Planter's Punch for Tom Amos and Colby Hernandez. This one's interesting. Just another one with a high dollar purchase. One time on the Fairgrounds, finished second, so definitely has that opportunity to improve. Looking at my long shot, going with number 3, Vinco. I just like the first time stats in here for Dallas Stewart. Maiden stats, 21%, 24% on those. And another big purchase for a 2-year-old, over $1.5 million. Headed to race 10, we have the Mary Grants Memorial. We are going 1/16 on the dirt, or on the turf, apologize. Heavy favorite probably in here is going to be Summer in Saratoga. Winner of the last 2, won the Blushing at Fairgrounds, so it's got that Fairgrounds turf familiarity. As you can see, 5-2 at Fairgrounds with a 1/16 speed figure. 7-4 in 2021, so had a great 2021 season. Looks to kick off 2022 with a big win here. My second pick is going to be Catch a Bid. Just 17-4 lifetime on the dirt. Finished 3rd Summer in Saratoga last time out in that Blushing. Joe Sharp, excellent trainer for these turf horses. Posted some decent workouts here. 101 breezing on 5 furlongs, and then a 48-4 going 4 furlongs. 3rd pick is going to be Janelle Monáe out of Brazil for Brad Cox and Joel Rosario. The horse is 4-4 lifetime. Ran in the Gonzaga Pixito de Castro, a grade 1 in Brazil. Finishing first there, kind of hard to judge these shippers coming in, but I feel like if Brad Cox is bringing this horse here, there's a damn good reason. So 4-4 lifetime, 4-4 on the turf, gets Joel Rosario. Yeah, if it's 8-1, that's definitely good money to bet. And my long shot pick in here is going to be number 4, Lovely Ride out of Candy Ride for Brett Calhoun and Raul Gutierrez. I believe Raul is probably one of the hottest jockeys right now. And 12-1 on turf. Nothing wrong with a good bet there. The horse is 8-5 in 2021. 1-for-1 at Fairground and 1-for-1 on the turf. So maybe this horse is going to set up nicely here and prefers that Fairground turf. Here we go on race 11, a mile and 70 yards. The Silver Bullet Stakes. My second pick is going to be Fannie and Freddie. Second last time out in the Untappable. 2-1-1 at the Fairgrounds. I believe this is a 2 or 3 horse race. The top pick in here is going to be La Crate for Steve Asmussen and Joel Rosario. Won last time, broke its maiden, $120,000 maiden. Posting an 80 speed figure is a little on the lower end, but for these younger horses, that is fine. Daughter out of Magdalia de Oro, so definitely going to use this one. Probably be close to even money. Another one to consider possibly is Sweet As Pie for Todd Pletcher and Florent Giroux. But maybe going to use two here. The 1 and the 5 look great. Short field with only 5 runners. Going ahead, mile and a 16th on the turf, race number 12. The Colonel Bradley Stakes for $100,000 for 4-year-olds and up. Another great betting race in here. My top pick is going to be number 6, 2 Emmys. Got beat last time in the Sycamore Grade 3 by Spooky Channel. Won last time out at Arlington Park for a $600,000 Grade 1. 6 and 2 and 3 at the fairgrounds. Posting 107 speed figure, seems to like the fairgrounds turf. James Graham for Hugh Robertson. Could be an interesting one. Good price. My second and third pick, I'm going with number 2, Halo again for Steve Asmussen. Joel Rosario, 1 for 1 on the fairground turf and 1 for 1 also on turf. Winner last time out with Raul Gutierrez in a $75,000 stakes race at fairgrounds. Beat out Monarch's Glen. Picks late at 14-1, so a decent price. Coming in at 6-1. Should hold that value, I believe. So if it's anywhere around there, that's good value on this type of horse. Third pick is going to Cavalry Charge out of Honor Code for Dallas Stewart and Brian Hernandez. Winner of the last 2 in allowances. So kind of stepping up in these stakes graded races here. Should fare well. 2021 horse ran well, 4 for 3. 7 and 4 lifetime on the turf, and has not raced at fairgrounds, but I think will make the adjustment well after coming from Keeneland, Churchill, and Kentucky Downs. Long shot pick's going to be number 5, Major Fed out of Ghost Zapper for Greg Foley and Florent Giroux. Seems to like the distance 7 times here, going 3 and 2. A little bit up and down. 2021. Kind of have to go back to October in an allowance to find this horse's last win. Has the Kentucky Derby experience, so has the class maybe. Some of these others as well, so it should fit in well at a good price at 10-1 to use for your underneaths. And going ahead, we have the Louisiana Stakes. This was probably going to get more coverage than the Derby prep race, just because we have the 4-year-old debuts of Mandaloon and Midnight Bourbon. Go with Mandaloon as my top pick, just because look where the horse has been. I mean, some of you consider him your Kentucky Derby winner. You see he's got the Pegasus under his belt and the disqualified winner of the Haskell. So you're looking at the last 3 races, yeah, the horse should be 1-1 favorite and probably going to maybe easily walk away from this field, but I don't think it'll be that easily. Just from the last 3 races that this horse has had, it's either had some sort of controversy, but went right down to the wire. So should be a great race, especially with Midnight Bourbon, a horse that I like just because it's got the bourbon in the name. But as you can see, the horse has fared not so good in the win column, but just runs hard to get up for second or third. And with Joel Rosario on it, I definitely know the horse is going to give it its all with him. So a great showdown in this race between these 2 horses. So I'm definitely going to use both of them. I'm going to throw in here number 6, Warrant for Brad Cox and Brian Hernandez, just as a long shot pick at 12-1. Seems to be one that could get up and give a little bit of price for an exact or a try. And here we go, race 14, the Lecomte Stakes. I think this one's an easy one for Epicenter. Coming in, winner of the Gunrunner Stakes last time out. Quick turnaround, however. Facing Papa Cap, who has been beat by Corniche, who is probably the top horse going for the Kentucky Derby right now. So very interesting. These 3 that you see marked here, Papa Cap, Trafalgar, Epicenter, all considered winners. Long shot here, I'm going with Unified Report, Fairgrounds, 1 for 1. Definitely one to consider just based on the current runnings at fairgrounds, and 3 for 3 lifetime. So, like with these early Kentucky Derby races, anything can happen. So, Unified Report, uh, like I said, 3 for 3 lifetime, 1 for 1 at fairgrounds. Uh, Maybe doesn't have the pedigree that some would consider for a Kentucky Derby run, but you never know. Springing in upsets in these Lecomte stakes, just the shorter point value coming in, especially with some of these other ones that are uh, coming off bigger races, minus Trafalgar, who just won an allowance. But if you look at Papa Cab and Epicenter, winners of big stake races last time out, and the Gun Runner and Papa Cab showing out in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and the American Pharoah. So, yeah, Unified Report's definitely up against it, but at 15-1, I'll take a swing and throw it underneath, or trifecta box this with 3, 4, and 5 here. So a good field. Cyberknife, another gun runner. Descendant here for the Ramseys with Brad Cox, Florent Giroux. Broke its maiden last time out, so coming in here is kind of interesting. But Brad Cox, Florent Giroux, I mean, those two connections right there are big time, so could be interesting. Looking elsewhere, I don't see a whole lot. Presidential was interesting with that Pioneer of the Nile Blood, but kind of ran in that smaller maiden. Call Me Midnight ran in the Kentucky Jockey Club last out, where Smile Happy won, got beat, finished 7th in there. Excuse me. Blue Kentucky finished 3rd last time out in the Sugar Bowl. This was at Fairgrounds, so has that Fairgrounds experience. But then number 1, Surfer Dude, like I said, Raul Gutierrez running really well right now. This horse has ran against Epicenter before. So kind of up against it again, facing this competition once more. Didn't have anything for it last time out, finished 3rd. So again, like I said, this is a great betting race, probably a 2-horse race between PopCap and Epicenter. But kind of look for some of these longer shots to kind of come in underneath. Surfer Dude, Unified Report. I could see Surfer Dude being bet down to 10-1 possibly, but by the time this thing goes off. And then Cyberknife, one to also consider just by the connections here and that pedigree. So I think 1 through 6 definitely all have a shot. But again, it's probably between these 2 top horses coming in here, Papa Cap and Epicenter. So that caps off the Fairgrounds Stakes races for Saturday, January 22nd, capping it off with the Louisiana Stakes and Lecomte. Kentucky Derby prep points on the line for these horses coming in. We get to see the 4-year-old debut for Midnight Bourbon and Mandaloon, so a great race card. Make sure to like and subscribe down below. Hit the bell to turn on those notifications for any time that we do these Kentucky Derby prep videos. We'll try to put them out on these big ones that are getting ready to come up now till May, basically. And then give us a follow on our social media pages. Check out the blog that's in the link below as well, so you can subscribe to that for all of the other daily betting guides besides these big stakes days. And then check out some of our other offerings down there if you don't have a TVG account, or I have also a Webull account down there for some free stocks. So feel free to check those out. Thank you guys for listening, and hopefully you win big on Saturday.